Hello, my dear learners. Welcome to everybody in my online class. Now, my dear learners, in my today's class, I am going to discuss about one of the most important punctuation mark, semicolons. Learning outcomes from this lesson, you will be able to know about semicolons, the sign or symbol of semicolons, the uses of semicolons correctly while writing English, or when to use semicolons, where to use semicolons, and how to use semicolons. Semicolons are kind of like hybrids between periods and commas. You should use semicolons to join two closely related independent or complete clauses in more complex list with punctuation, and between independent clauses that are linked with conjunctive adverbs. Now we shall discuss about the functions of using semicolons, or the uses of semicolons, where to use, how to use, and when to use semicolons. Rule number 1: use a semicolon to connect closely related, independent, or complete clauses that are not joined by a coordinating conjunction, like fanboys. What is fanboys? F is for, A is for and, N is for nor, B is for but, O is for Y is for yet, S is for so. Okay, that means the independent clauses are not joined by a coordinating conjunction such as for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Examples: I am going to order fish, he is going to order meat. My dear learners, notice in this example there are two independent clauses, and these clauses are not joined by the coordinating conjunction, above coordinating conjunction. So between two independent or complete clauses, you have to use semicolon. Okay. More example: call me tomorrow, I shall let you know my decision then. I do not like city or town, I like rural area. Okay. Rule number 2: use a semicolon after the first clauses when the second clause begins with the following conjunctive adverbs: moreover, however, otherwise, therefore, nevertheless, yet, so, still, then, finally, likewise, consequently. Okay. Example: he tried her best, yet he could not come out successful. In this example, he tried her best is a clause, and he could not come out successful is also a clause. The example, that means the two clauses are joined with conjunctive adverbs yet. Okay, so the first after the first clause you have to use semicolon when the second clause begins with however, moreover, otherwise, therefore, that means the above conjunctive adverbs. Okay, the second part begins with yet, so before yet or after the first clause you have to use semicolon. More example, I can come to your party tomorrow, semicolon, however, comma, I will arrive late. You were warned again and again, semicolon, still you remained heedless. Okay. Rule number 3. Use semicolons between items in a series containing internal punctuation. You should use semicolon to divide the items of a list if the items are long or contain internal punctuation. The semicolons help readers to keep track of the divisions between the items in the list. Example, I traveled to Spain, Italy and France last year. Okay, this is an example. But my dear learners, if the list contains internal punctuation such as I traveled to Madrid, Spain, Rome, Italy, and Paris, France last year, it is not correct. Okay, I traveled to Madrid, comma Spain. It is not appropriate. Sorry. To Madrid, Spain, comma, Rome, Italy and Paris, comma, France. This is not appropriate. You have to use semicolon after I traveled to Madrid, comma, Spain, semicolon, Rome, comma, Italy, semicolon and Paris, comma, France last year. Okay. Another example, the company invited Masum, Rohim and Karim to the conference. Okay, the company invited Masum, comma, Rohim and Karim to the conference. This is an example, but when the examples takes internal punctuation, then you have to use semicolon after every items or list. Suppose the company invited Masum, comma, the accountant, semicolon, Rohim, the office manager, semicolon, and Karim, comma, the sales manager. Rule number 4. Use a semicolon between two coordinate clauses with different subjects when the clauses are not joined with conjunction. In this rule, there are 3 conditions. Two coordinate clauses, different subject and not connected with conjunction. Example, the commander was killed, semicolon, the soldier disappeared. Okay. In this example, there are 2 clauses, coordinate clauses and subject different. In the first clauses, subject the commander and in the second clauses, subject the soldiers. Okay, different subject and not connected with conjunction, and it is not connected with conjunction. So between two clauses, you have to use semicolon. Okay. More example, the leader was arrested, semicolon, the followers at once surrendered. We went to the playground, semicolon, they went to the cinema. Rule number 5. Use a semicolon between two coordinate clauses joined with conjunction if comma is used in the clause. In this rule, there are also 3 conditions. Number 1, two coordinate clauses joined with conjunction and comma is used in the particular clause. Okay. Example, he was a noble, comma, large-hearted man, semicolon, and we all respected him. In this example, he was a noble, large-hearted man is particular clause and general clause is we all respected him. So when there are two coordinate clauses joined with conjunction. In this example is joined with conjunction and comma is used in the particular clause. In this case, he was a noble authoritative man is a particular clause, and in this clauses comma is used or punctuation is used. Okay. Another example, the plain where the battle took place was strewn, was arms broken and blood stained, semicolon, and the roads were crowded with runaways. Rule number 6. Use a semicolon after the first clause when the second clause begins with consequently, recently, as a matter of fact, as a result of fact, as a result of which. Example, he walked 10 miles at a stretch, semicolon, consequently he got tired. In this example, use semicolon, he walked 10 miles at a stretch is a first clause, and after first clause you have to use semicolon when the second clause begins with consequently, recently, as a matter of fact, as a result of fact, as a result of which. So the second clause begins with consequently, so you have to use semicolon after first clause or before second clause. Another example, the sad idol, semicolon, as a result of which they suffered much. In this example, after first clause you have to use semicolon because second clause begins with as a result of which. So number 7, use a semicolon to separate set elements. To separate set elements. Example, they arrived in groups. Hyphen, Rohim and Karim, semicolon, Rofik and Shafik, semicolon, Masum and Mamun, full stop. Okay? They arrived in a group. Rohim and Karim is a group or set. Rofik and Shafik is a group or set. Masum and Mamun is a group or set. So, to separate the set elements, the elements of set, to separate the elements of set, you have to use semicolon after every set or after every group. You have to use semicolon. My dear learners, this is enough for using semicolon. I hope you will be able to know about what is semicolon, the sign or symbol of semicolon, and the uses of semicolon. That means where to use semicolon, how to use semicolon, and when to use semicolon. Okay, thank you very much. You are most welcome to enjoy my online classes.